wondering what the clue is for this episode of IELTS FaceOff? Meow, that's some cat animals. I'm seeing some animals and oh, some really grumpy animals.
Parents are dead.
Animals. Okay, these aren't animals. These are people trying to be animals. And I wonder what they're going to be in terms of my clue. I think they are superheroes. I actually think the topic today is about somebody who is going around to save the world and takes on a different form than what people would expect. Let's see.
Hi everyone, my name is Thiên Bảo. I am a student in class 9A of Hanoi Amsterdam High School. So I've been learning English since grade 2, and ever since it has always been my favorite subject. Recently got 8.0 in the IELTS exam. So today I'm very proud and excited to be in this studio and share with you guys some of my experience. I like to try new things, and to me, the more I explore the world, the richer I will become.
It is not a superhero, but it's a guy with some super amazing powers. I'm gonna go meet him. The ground is so great in our studio for us to be able to ice skate and just glide around. But there's a guy who doesn't really glide around in life. He really works hard, and he's young, and he's achieved a lot, and I actually see him right here. He's not gliding, but he's grounded in his seat. Hi, how are you?
Hi, I'm fine, thank you.
Are you shy?
Yeah.
Are you scared?
A little bit.
Okay, you want to do the exercise with me?
No, definitely.
No. So shall we just start talking?
Yeah.
All right, guys, so instead of doing the exercise, we're going to start talking. IELTS Face-Off coming right up next. Are you ready to face off?
Yeah.
We're back in the studio with IELTS Face-Off, and this is our special guest. Hello.
Hello.
I'm so excited to get started with you because you're only 13 and a half, right?
Yes.
You're turning 14 at the end of this year.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, so you received an 8.0 on your first try at the IELTS. How did you manage to do that?
It started out like 2 years ago. That is the first time that I knew about IELTS. And I was very worried that I will not do very well in the test. So I tried my best and kind of put all of my will to kind of practice and prepare for the exam.
Okay, so when you said you tried your best and you put all of your will, you know, it's a lot of things our students say, right? So can you define for me what did trying your best and put all of your best effort into it? What does that mean?
I spent a lot of time to expand my kind of vocabulary and also really fix my grammar so that I will don't do any silly mistake during the test. And also it kind of most tense time that I've ever been through in my life.
So you know, when you're going through those stressful times, who are the ones that help you, and how did you prepare for those stressful times?
Most of the work that I have done is either achieved by myself, through practicing and endless hours of lessons, or my parents who taught me to attend a lot of classes.
Amongst all the 4 sections, which section did you find was your strength, and which section did you find was the hardest?
I think that my strength is definitely the reading and the listening section because I've read a lot of books, played a lot of games, and listened to a lot of music in English. It is very easy for me to kind of know what others are saying and also analyze the question. I think that these sections don't really require much practicing and critical thinking because it's more about time and effort. In the long run, you will increase your reading skills and listening skills a lot. And I think that it was not very hard for me to develop these 2 skills.
I think you've done a fantastic job for the IELTS, but I also think the IELTS is not the end. Yeah. Because IELTS is just a tool for somebody to kind of train their English. How are you going to use that language to create, to talk, to argue, to make a point?
Yeah.
I think it's also very, very important, right? Now, let's strip away all of these studying things, right?
Yes.
I'm interested to know who you are as Bảo.
Yes.
Okay, so let's say when you go home and you're in your house,
Yes.
what are you doing? What do you think about?
After getting back from school, I just rest for a moment, like kind of relax and really have a little bit of time for myself to either watch TV or play games, so that I can really be prepared for the next section or have time to kind of rest.
Mm-hmm. All right, I'm seeing that you have a watch here.
Yeah.
You know, why do you have that watch?
It's a present from my mom in the last birthday. I really like it. Firstly, it's my kind of parents' present. Secondly, is one of the most important things that I've ever gotten in my life, because my parents knew that I'm a very strict person when talking about the time and the schedule. Ever since grade 1, I've never been late at school.
I love it. I'm one of those people that actually have to train myself to not be late, right? And for all the people that has had a perfect record of not being late, I think that is quite incredible. So Bảo, when you study for the IELTS, which are some of the books that you used?
I think that most of the books that I use are from Collins, and one of the books that I found the most helpful is Practice for IELTS. It just has a lot of information that you will really find helpful during your time preparing for IELTS, and also a lot of practice tests that is really similar to the normal IELTS test.
Okay, fantastic. If you guys are interested to know those books, we'll actually have the resources for you to be able to purchase them. So make sure you check out tiki.vn and find those books online. You might be able to find them very easily. So good luck studying and enjoy. So what do you say to all of these students, right, living in the provinces, living in really rural areas, who don't have a lot of access to resources, and yet they still want to be better, and that yet they tell themselves that, hey, I don't have the resources to do this. Do you have any advice for those people?
If you guys find that you are really good at a certain subject, you should ask for help from your parents or shows or investors who are seeking for young talent. So you will be able to achieve and really have a bright future.
I also think that, you know, all of these people that are living in the provinces who may not have a lot of access to resources, I think that the mentality should be, I got to go out there, I got to do it.
Yes.
Instead of, you know, I'm limited by my resources, right?
Yeah.
And you're a great example of somebody who, despite the fact that you are young, you go out there and you do it and you put in the hard work. Because at the end of the day, if you don't work hard, nothing's going to happen. And if you do work hard, no difficulty is a difficulty.
Okay.
Yeah. Would you agree with me?
Yes, definitely.
Fantastic. I hope you agree with me to go on to the next section as well. The IELTS challenge section.
Yeah.
All right. So guys, IELTS challenge coming right up next. I'm going to challenge our friend Bảo here to some interesting games. We're back in the IELTS Face-Off studio, and this is the IELTS Face-Off challenge. I'm going to challenge our lovely friend Bảo here to a game of thơ lục bát. So we're going to create, you know, Vietnamese poems that are 6 and 8 in English. I have one. You want to hear mine?
Yeah.
So it goes like this. Today I went to school.
Yeah.
Picked up a stool. Then I fell down. What do you think of my poem? What do you think?
It's quite funny.
It's quite funny?
Yeah.
Okay. What's yours?
Yesterday I saw a lot of birds. All of them are very colorful, and they are flying very high in the sky, and I really don't know why.
Are you creating haiku? Are you creating thơ lục bát?
It's quite funny.
I'd love to actually try it one more time. Do you have another one?
Yeah.
Okay, what's yours?
I really like eating hot dogs. I would eat it every day. If only like I don't wait, it would always be my like favorite thing.
So I'm going to try and rephrase that into a Vietnamese lyrical Thơ Lục Bát style.
Yeah.
I like eating hot dogs. I would eat it every day.
Yeah.
It will always be my favorite food. As long as I don't get overweight. No, it doesn't work. It totally doesn't work.
It like don't really fit with the Vietnamese style.
It does not.
Yeah.
I have one for me too. You know, I don't think it might fit either.
Yeah.
So it goes like, hello, how do you do? I'm fine, thank you. And how about you? That's really good, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, guys, you know, if you do have your ideas of how Thơ Lục Bát will sound in English, please send them to us. We'd love to hear from you. And of course, make sure you record your voice.
Yeah.
And of course, guys, Bảo, thank you so much for coming.
Yeah.
All right. High five. Okay, good luck for all of your future endeavors and come back next time.
Yeah.
Okay. Guys, we still have our expert section coming right up next, so please don't go anywhere. And if you're already thinking of those poetry, make sure you still join us as well.
Next! Oh my god! Guess where we will travel to in this episode's IELTS on the go? The lands of yellow flowers on green grass. Hello, beautiful Phú Yên! And Trong will have an interesting talk with two young girls from Lương Văn Chánh High School for the gifted. One of them will be confident to be the pioneer getting to the speaking test room to challenge herself in the voice of the week. This girl or this girl, who knows? But first, let's get to the studio and meet our IELTS expert of this episode, Olivia Holmes, right now.
This is our IELTS Face-Off expert section, and our lovely Oliver Holmes is here with us today.
Great to be here.
You know, I keep thinking of what your siblings would be called. You know, Elizabeth Holmes. Or, you know.
Definitely royalty, yeah. I think
Sherlock
we should
Holmes.
all have royal names, but unfortunately not. Although they are quite unusual.
Are you related to Sherlock?
Yeah, he was actually my great-great-great-grandfather.
Oh, that's fantastic. I bet you can do some really, really, really good crime solving. So let's dig deep, and we're going to see what our next person has to say about the IELTS. All right, so Tung Dang, take it away to Phú Yên, where we're going to meet a lot of interesting, nice, cool people.
What up, viewers? As you can see, this is probably the IELTS on the go episode with the most beautiful scenic background. I'm at Phú Yên, more specifically in the city of Tuy Hoa. And Phú Yên is known for its beautiful sceneries as well as its beautiful people, and we have some beautiful local girls here. And we're going to talk to them a little bit about how they study English and how they study for the IELTS. So please, could you introduce yourself to the viewers?
Hi, my name is Phạm Thị Duyên. I'm 16 and I'm a student at Lương Văn Chánh High School for the Gifted in Tuy Hoa City.
Hello everyone, my name is Minh and I'm a student at grade 12 at Lương Văn Chánh High School for the Gifted.
So you guys go to the same class? Or?
No.
Okay, and you're slightly older, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're her senior. Anyway, and you both in the Lương Văn Chánh High School for the Gifted, and what class are you in? Because I know that School for the Gifted usually have classes that specialize in a specific skill. From the look of things, I think you guys specialize in English, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I can tell from the really excellent pronunciation. So this is a show about the IELTS, and I'm more interested in how people think about the test. What skill do you find the most challenging out of the 4 skills in the test?
To me, the most challenging skill was writing.
Writing skill.
My vocabulary is very limited, and I often got the wrong tense for each task.
What? So like you can, because you're in like an English specialized class,
Yeah.
and I know that usually when you do like grammar tests, you wouldn't get any questions wrong, but when you're actually like writing your own sentences, composing your own essays, then that's when you start to make mistakes, right?
Yeah.
It's really hard to like retain a control over your grammar and your vocabulary and all that. I understand perfectly. What about you?
I think this is listening because it's so hard for me to recognize the tone and I can't hear exactly the syllable of the speaker.
When the speaker is speaking too fast, like the sounds are kind of muzzled together and you can't quite make it out. Yeah. Okay, that's a very common struggle for all IELTS takers, I believe. Anyway, on the show we give the guests that we feature an opportunity to take an IELTS speaking simulation exam. I love the speaking skill. I don't know about you guys. None of you say that speaking actually poses a challenge for you. So I must think that you are pretty good at the speaking skill as well.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, so you guys in the English specialized class. And Tuy Hoa, I know it is an up-and-coming tourist destination, kind of like a touristy city. So do you guys have a lot of foreign visitors coming into the city?
Yeah. Years ago, foreigners start to come with our hometown, and
as soon as they discover all of this, anyway.
Yeah.
This is the treasure trove, by the way.
Because the visitors almost like the beach scenery and they like the fresh air, the atmosphere here, because it's so comfortable and make every people like feel cheery. Yeah. Yeah.
I feel totally relaxed and at ease when I'm like this close to the beach. Anyway, so you guys get a chance to like practice speaking with foreign tourists?
Yeah.
Okay. Have you ever tried?
I did go to a camp which you 100% English, so I have many chances to practice with the interns in this camp. Okay. And we talk about many things. Yeah, we talk about the experience, the ways to learn English. Okay. And they inspire me a lot.
So they really don't mind you just walking up to them and you know, asking them to practice English with you. Yeah. They're totally okay with that. Yeah. Okay. Viewers, sometimes, you know, you feel really intimidated when you wanted to walk up to a foreign person and ask them to practice English with you. Well, don't be afraid because sometimes they are friendlier than you think, right? Anyway, the speaking skill, as I was saying, is my favorite skill. Because I use it the most. So on the show, on IELTS on the Go, we give the guests that we feature an opportunity to sit a simulation speaking exam. So it will consist of all 3 parts, and you will get feedback from an IELTS expert that we have on set. Cool? Yeah. You guys excited? Yeah. Okay, so the hardest part about this section for me is usually not taking the test, but choosing who gets to take the test. And we have 2 here. And I don't know which one of you I am going to give this opportunity to, so you guys got to decide among yourselves. Okay, so who wants to go?
I think I want to go.
What? You taking the test soon? Why are you so willing to give this chance to her?
Because I want to give her the opportunity to try to like take an actual test. Okay. So I can learn from it. Okay, so that's very wise because you can also learn a lot from just watching feedback of other contestants as well, right? Okay, so the test room is right this way. Anything you want to say to her before she entered this very intimidating experience? Be confident.
Yeah, I think so.
Show off whatever you got.
Thank you for your advice.
Okay, I'm sure she's had a lot to offer the exam. Anyway, the test room is right this way, so just head right down here. Yeah. All right, okay. Go ahead. Good luck.
Bye.
So Oliver today has selected Minjo to be our contender today. So are you ready to face off?
Yeah, absolutely.
Minjo, yes. This girl will be entitled Voice of the Week. Will she be nervous or confident? We'll have the answer very soon. If you ever think that writing is just all about writing, you might have to reconsider our IELTS expert. We'll give you some helpful tips on writing skills. Read more than you write? Sounds interesting. Indeed. And in Book of the Week, we'll bring you a book with a nice balance of language and IELTS test taking strategies and tips. And all comes to you right now.
Let's start with part 1. We're talking about the ocean and water. How much time do you spend near the ocean?
When I was a child, I used to spend a great deal of time by the ocean because my hometown, Phú Yên, is the coastal city.
My family go to the beach every afternoon. We swim and play in the sand. But now I'm so busy with my studying that I don't have so much time to go to the beach. So I go whenever I can, but it's not very often.
Now we're going to move on to part 2 of the speaking test. Remember, you've got 1 minute to make some notes about this and 1 to 2 minutes to speak. I'd like you to describe a book you read recently.
The book that I have recently read named The Alchemist, a masterpiece by Paulo Coelho. This novel tells about a mystical story of Santiago, an Andalusian seafarer boy who yearned to travel in search of a worldly treasure. Santiago's journey teaches us about the essential wisdom of listening to our hearts, recognizing opportunity, reading the omens, strong along life path, and above all, following our dreams. The reason why I decided to read this book is very accidental. One of my friends brought this book to class and introduced it to me. Then I looked through its review and came up with an idea that I can benefit from this book anyway. So I borrowed it from my friends. And indeed, I learned such a huge amount from this book. I love this book so much. It brings me motivation. It makes me recognize that I play an important role in something greater than my own life, and something greater than my own life, so I don't have to fear anything. In a word, The Alchemist is a story that can inspire nations and change people's lives.
Thank you. Now, let's move on to part 3. In this part, I'd like to ask you some more general questions related to part 2. Let's consider, first of all, reading. Why do you think people like reading?
People read for plenty of reasons. We read because we want to widen our knowledge. We read because we want to improve our conversational skill. Reading strengthens our worldview and conviction. It increases our knowledge of history, increases the cultural knowledge without an expensive plan, and above all, reading inspires us a lot.
Thank you very much. That's the end of the speaking test.
Thank you.
Hey.
Hi.
How did it go?
Yes, it's a little bit good.
A little bit good? So it's not like very, very good. So we'll hear from our IELTS expert that we have on set, what they think about your performance. Okay, so just look this way.
So Oliver, what do you think of Mincho's performance?
She really keeps on speaking very, very well, and her pronunciation is excellent. There were a couple of things that I thought that she could improve on, and actually I picked up a couple of things that are very common mistakes in Vietnam in general. So she said this story tell about, and she should have said this story is about. One other thing that I noticed was that in terms of her pronunciation, she often made mistakes with the final sounds of the word or the beginning of the word. So, for example, when she said busy, she said more like pizzy. So she needs that stronger b sound when she's speaking. Busy and p, pizzy. She also said porrowed instead of borrowed, so I would address that. But generally, she used a really good range of vocabulary and grammar. In terms of her vocabulary, she used things like people who yearn to travel in search of treasure. Although she did make a small mistake with her pronunciation. When she said worldly treasure, she actually said waterly treasure, which doesn't make very much sense. So worldly treasure, it still doesn't really make sense. In search of treasure would be better.
Wow, so what do you think about the feedback?
Yeah, this is the first time I take an IELTS speaking test. And these advices are very useful for me, so I think I will improve my skills in the next time and have a good score.
Yeah, that's actually a very decent performance for first-timers. I've enjoyed a lot of things in Thuy Hoa, and I just want to give back a little bit. So I've prepared some gifts for you guys. Okay, so these are some goodies that we have from VTV7 and the British Council. Okay, so here's one for you.
Thank you.
Yep, and here's one for you as well. Okay, so thank you very much for your time. But viewers, don't go anywhere yet. Stay right there because we're coming back with some more tips, and tips.
All right, so the tips, and tip section this time is a writing tip. And this is a very controversial writing tip in my opinion. It is to read more than you write.
So controversial.
What do you think about this?
To read more than you write? Well, I think that reading a lot is a good idea anyway. The IELTS exam is connected to all sorts of topics that actually matter in life, like the environment, I suppose politics to a certain extent, crime, society. So it's a good idea to keep up to date with the latest issues and to watch the news, listen to the news and read the news. And if you read the news, then you can actually learn a lot more vocabulary. You can underline topic-specific collocations or vocabulary that's connected to a certain topic and make a small list of good vocabulary you can use in the future. You could also pick up more natural ways of writing things and a greater variety of grammatical structures that you could copy and use in your own work. So I think it is important to read a lot, but I think it's also important that you practice writing a lot. And just because reading is important doesn't mean that you should stop writing. You should be practicing writing very, very regularly to increase your writing speed. And reading will help you to do that, but don't forget to practice writing too. Thank you.
And guys, every week we have a book review section, and this time we're going to introduce you to a book. So check it out. This week's book title.
Improve your IELTS listening and speaking skills. This book has a nice balance between language and IELTS test taking strategies and tips. Lots of short practice activities and advice for both listening and speaking skills. The book is organized by common IELTS topics. There is a full listening practice test.
Are you excited about the book that you just saw? If you're looking to buy those books, always check out tiki.vn. It is the fastest way that you can discover and purchase all of these books. All right, thanks, Oliver.
Thank you.
Yeah, high five. Woohoo! Fantastic. Thanks, Oliver. See you again in the next episode.
Thank you. See you again soon.
Today's episode's topic is super ordinary. Now, we're always normal people and we're living our normal lives, but I think it's all from our dreams and aspirations and all the things that we think are normal, but combined with our imagination, this insatiable desire to do things, we can create amazing things. Look at Disney. Disney was created because of a dream. Marvel was created because there's this person who's super passionate about all these superheroes, and now they are amazing characters all around the world. And I'm really passionate about creating amazing things and creating masterpieces. So what are you guys' masterpiece? Share with us. And until next time, we'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Ciao, ciao.